I had a really public breakup recently. It was a wake-up call for me in the sense of like, okay, you're going to do this on your own and you're going to be fine.
Right.
And you're not going to worry about what anyone thinks and has to say, because the relationship was rocky for a very long time. So, because I don't believe another person can break anyone.
This whole situation between Taraji and Nia Long didn't just get messy. It exploded into a full-blown Hollywood storm that nobody saw coming. What started as a few quiet whispers behind the scenes turned into an all-out media frenzy that's got the entire internet spinning out. These two powerhouses have been trading side eyes for years, ever since their time on Empire shook up primetime TV. And word floating around is that Nia's allegedly been tossing slick little comments about Taraji for ages, keeping the tension simmering even after the cameras stopped rolling. But here's the kicker. Taraji didn't stay silent this time. She came out swinging hard, and now the buzz online is saying she's been linked to inmate Udoka. And that revelation had everyone's jaws hitting the floor. Yeah, that Udoka, the same guy whose name was everywhere online not long ago for all the wrong reasons, and who just so happened to be connected to Nia too. Can you even wrap your head around that twist? The irony is so wild, it could be straight out of a movie script. And knowing Nia, she does not play when it comes to her image or being embarrassed in public. People been whispering that she's absolutely fuming about these new Taraji and Udoka rumors. Like she feels double-crossed or even blindsided. It's giving serious betrayal energy. But the real question that's got everyone clutching their phones, how did Taraji even cross paths with Udoka in the first place? Was it fate, a setup, or something way deeper than anyone expected? And is Taraji really stirring the pot, or just caught in a drama that's been brewing behind closed doors for way too long? Let's rewind to where this whole fire first sparked. Back when Nia joined Empire as Juliana, Lucius's ex in season 3, the fandom went crazy. Seeing two queens of Hollywood share the screen was a dream come true. Both of them fierce, confident, and dripping in star energy. It was pure magic every single episode. The hype was unreal. The ratings went up and people couldn't stop talking about the undeniable chemistry and subtle competition between these two icons. Viewers were locked in, episode after episode, waiting to see how these powerhouses would face off next. It was like watching sparks fly in high definition. But then, everything shifted. The vibe turned off, like there was some kind of tension nobody wanted to talk about but everyone could feel. The smiles started looking forced, the interviews got shorter, and fans started noticing the awkward energy every time Taraji and Nia shared a stage or photo op. It was almost like they were smiling through gritted teeth. And of course, once fans smelled the tension, the internet detectives clocked in fast. You know how it goes? When the web senses drama, it becomes a full-time investigation. People began analyzing old clips, pausing interviews, and decoding every side eye, every awkward laugh, every glance that lasted just a little too long, like they were uncovering some deep Hollywood secret. Before long, the puzzle pieces started lining up. It wasn't just about on-screen rivalry or acting. There was real heat bubbling behind the curtain. Insiders started hinting that this wasn't a one-time thing. There'd been friction for a while, and it was just waiting for the right spark to blow. From that point on, everything got way more intense. The tension between Taraji and Nia spilled into the public like wildfire, and there was no going back. Subtle shade turned into bold moves, and the gossip machine kicked into overdrive. Fans were glued to their phones, following every update, every rumor, every tiny post like it was breaking news. The whole thing became digital chaos, two legends caught in a feud that the internet refuses to let die. Now people can't stop talking about it. Every new piece of gossip, every supposed insider detail just makes the fire burn hotter. The internet's been eating it up, turning this feud into a non-stop spectacle. And the craziest part? Nobody even knows where it'll go next, but one thing's for sure, this saga between Taraji and Nia has become pure entertainment gold.
All started over a joke.
Nia reportedly showed up to set late, and one of the male actors said to her,
"Why are you always on black people's time?" Which, amongst the black peoples, is not that big of a deal.
And Nia went off on the dude, which made Taraji jump in and say to her,
"Why are you so mad? Are you on your period?"
Enjoying the video so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to Fame Drop so you're here for the next one. Then the whispers started spreading like wildfire. One minute everything seemed cool, and the next, boom, everybody on set was talking about how Nia Long was acting distant, cold, and hard to vibe with. The word going around was that she had an opinion about everything. From her hair and makeup to wardrobe choices and lighting setups, nothing escaped her say-so. People started claiming that Nia wasn't just giving regular star energy. She was running the show like it was her production. And here's the wild part. Sources said she'd even pause filming until things were done exactly her way. Makeup artists were seen walking out of trailers looking completely drained. Stylists were sighing like they'd just survived a storm, and a few crew members allegedly said they wouldn't work with her again if they could help it. The tension on set? It was thick enough to cut with a knife. Everyone could feel it. Even people who weren't there could sense the bad vibes just from the stories flying around online. But not everyone was quick to pile on the hate. Some came to her defense, saying Nia wasn't being difficult. She was just a professional who knew her worth and demanded top-tier results. They said she wasn't about drama, she was about excellence. According to them, Nia wasn't pushing people out of ego, she was pushing for perfection. But of course, others weren't buying that at all. They painted a whole different story, saying she was calling shots like she ran the network, snapping at people if things weren't flawless, and setting a tone that left the whole crew walking on eggshells. The set reportedly turned icy fast, like one wrong comment and you might get the coldest stare in Hollywood. It got to the point where every take felt like high-stakes territory. The smallest mistake could shift the mood instantly. People said you could literally feel the pressure in the air, like everyone was waiting for something to pop off. It wasn't just a normal day on set anymore. It became survival mode for real. Each person was just trying to keep it cool, stay out of the crossfire, and make it through the day without getting caught in whatever storm was brewing. And with every new rumor spilling out, that behind-the-scenes tension started sounding less like gossip and more like a full-blown Hollywood power clash playing out in real time.
We open doors for brown girls to be exactly who we are, and that's beautifully complicated. And so it's been a blessing and a curse because here's what I do know. Nia Long knows her light. Nia Long knows her makeup. Nia Long knows her hair. And you probably can't talk me into something else unless you show me. If you want to call that difficult, then sorry.
When that behind-the-scenes tea first started spilling, it didn't just stir things up. It blew the lid off the whole situation and showed everyone just how fierce and competitive Nia Long could really be, especially when she was surrounded by other powerhouse black actresses who could match her shine and confidence. People began realizing that this wasn't just a few side eyes and polite smiles, it was turning into a full-on power clash. Nia came onto that set radiating main character energy, walking in like she owned the room, shoulders back, head held high, making it known she wasn't about to play small for anybody. But Taraji, please, she wasn't about to fade into the background for anyone. You could practically see the tension crackling between them every time they shared the same space, like static electricity ready to spark. Then out of nowhere, boom, the bomb dropped. Nia wasn't coming back for Empire's 4th season, and that's when the whispers turned into a raging storm. Word spread fast that during her short time on the show, Nia was allegedly trying to shift the spotlight her way. Insiders claimed she'd been pushing for creative adjustments that just so happened to give her character more screen time and emotional depth. Extra scenes, dramatic solo shots, and heavy monologues that would make her the center of every moment. She reportedly wanted her storyline to compete directly with Taraji's beloved Cookie Lion, the fan-favorite queen who carried the show's attitude and heart. Can you imagine that kind of heat on set? Two industry icons, both with commanding presence, silently battling for the crown. It was like a behind-the-scenes chess match where every move counted. But the producers, they weren't rookies. They'd seen that type of Hollywood storm coming a mile away. Empire was their golden goose, and they weren't about to let egos ruin what was working so perfectly. Everyone knew Cookie Lion was the heart of the show. Fearless, stylish, loud, and unapologetically bold. The execs made it crystal clear. No one was stealing that spotlight. So when talk started circulating about giving Nia's character more power or bigger arcs, the higher-ups shut it down quick. No debates, no second chances. They were protecting their brand and their star. And just like that, Nia's time on Empire came to an end, leaving a trail of whispers, tension, and enough behind-the-scenes heat to keep the rumor mill spinning for years. When Taraji heard about everything that had gone down behind her back, she did not take it lightly. Word is, the tension between them went from bad to straight up toxic. Allegedly, things got so uncomfortable that production had to get creative. Some say the two actresses started filming scenes separately just to avoid explosions on set. Can you believe that? Two lead women in the same storyline, but barely sharing the same space. Editors were apparently forced to splice scenes together just to make it look like they were face to face. That's not just tension. That's Hollywood history-level awkwardness. And when the talk reached Taraji that Nia might have been trying to edge her way into her spotlight, oh, she was heated. People close to her said she felt blindsided, like she'd been stabbed in the back by someone she once admired and respected. It wasn't just about professional pride, it cut deeper than that. Taraji's known for giving credit where it's due, so when she felt that loyalty break, it hit hard. She wasn't just angry, she was hurt. Once that trust cracked, there was no fixing it. The energy on set turned icy cold. You could feel it just being in the same hallway. Crew members reportedly avoided saying either of their names around the other because one wrong word could set off another wave of drama. And after Nia's exit, fans couldn't help but notice something big. Taraji and Nia were never spotted together again. Not at award shows, not at movie premieres, not even in casual red carpet group photos. It was like they silently agreed to stay in separate lanes. That keep it cute and keep it moving energy was loud. The feud went quiet for a while, but silence doesn't mean peace. It usually means something still bubbling beneath the surface, just waiting for the next spark. And oh, that spark came because out of nowhere, Taraji's name started popping up next to Ime Udoka's. Yeah, that's right, Ime Udoka, Nia's ex-fiancé and the father of her son. For anyone who forgot, Nia and Ime were together for over a decade. They started dating back in 2010, got engaged in 2015, and for years looked like Hollywood's golden couple. But then, in 2022, their love story came crashing down after Ime got exposed for allegedly having affairs with two married women who worked for the Boston Celtics while he was their head coach. That scandal didn't just wreck their relationship, it broke the internet. It was messy, public, and painful, with everyone watching it unfold in real time. Nia handled it with grace, but everyone knew how hard that blow hit her, professionally, emotionally, personally, the whole nine. So imagine the chaos when Taraji's name suddenly got linked to him. Fans were in shock, social media exploded overnight. People couldn't believe it. They said it felt like the universe had circled right back with a dramatic twist. The thought of Taraji possibly being connected, even loosely, to the same man who'd been at the center of Nia's heartbreak was enough to send the internet into a full meltdown. Screenshots, tweets, and fan theories started flying like confetti. Some were saying it had to be fake news, while others were convinced it was the ultimate plot twist. And just like that, all that old tension between Taraji and Nia came roaring back to life. What was once a quiet feud turned into one of the most talked about Hollywood rivalries all over again. The internet's been dissecting every look, every social media post, every interview since then, trying to figure out if there's still bad blood. Whether they're speaking publicly or staying silent, their names keep trending together. It's wild, it's messy, it's dramatic, and nobody can look away. Because in Hollywood, where egos and emotions collide, sometimes the quietest feuds end up being the loudest ones of all.
Nia Long, if she was with them for 13 years, right, and they still hadn't gotten married, but they were engaged, there was probably some underlying issues there. Maybe this was the straw that broke the camel's back. You know, and when you are a celebrity like that, being publicly humiliated, I think the stakes are a little bit higher. Just like she can't embarrass him publicly, he can't embarrass her. And when one of them breaks that promise, it is devastating.
When Nia found out Ime had cheated, it wasn't just a heartbreak, it was devastation on full display. That betrayal didn't just hurt her feelings, it broke her spirit wide open. One moment she was minding her business, living her life, and the next, her private world came crashing down for everyone to see. The news dropped like a bomb, and it wasn't whispered quietly. It exploded across every platform imaginable. Headlines, gossip blogs, talk shows, you name it. Everyone was talking about it, analyzing her pain like it was some kind of entertainment special. You could literally see the pain in her eyes, tired, drained, trying to hold it together while the world picked apart her heartbreak piece by piece. The humiliation was unreal. The woman who'd always been strong and composed was suddenly forced to live her worst moment in public view, and the spotlight turned vicious overnight. Every camera flash, every cruel comment online, it all just made that wound deeper. But here's the part hardly anyone saw coming. People close to Nia say she actually wanted to forgive Ime. Yeah, she was brokenhearted, but she wasn't ready to give up completely. She wanted to handle things privately, away from the noise and the judgment. She didn't want to feed the headlines. She wanted peace, healing, and a chance to fix what had been shattered. Despite the betrayal, her love for her family still had her fighting to make things right. She was ready to give it one more try, not out of weakness, but because she still believed in the home they'd built together. But just as she was trying to breathe again, the internet dropped another bombshell, and this one hit hard. Out of nowhere, fresh rumors started swirling that Ime had already moved on, and the name being whispered as his alleged new flame? Taraji P. Henson. Like what? The same woman Nia had history and tension with? That wasn't just drama, that was pure chaos. For Nia, this wasn't some random rumor she could ignore. It felt personal. Like Taraji wasn't just crossing the line, she was stomping all over it with red-bottom heels. Years of quiet tension, subtle shade, and industry rivalry suddenly came roaring back like a storm that never truly passed. Sources said Nia felt like Taraji had stepped into territory that was sacred, her family. And honestly, who could blame her for feeling cut deep by that? The timing was wild, the optics were messy, and with their old Empire history hanging in the background, the whole situation looked straight out of a Hollywood script. What could have been Nia's moment to heal in peace suddenly turned into another public firestorm, and everyone was glued to their screens waiting to see if this long-running feud was about to explode into something even bigger. But from Taraji's side, she was cool as ice. Word on the street was that Taraji wasn't losing a wink of sleep over the gossip. She didn't think she'd done anything wrong, not a single thing. As far as she was concerned, Nia and Ime were finished, done. No ties left, no rules to follow. Taraji wasn't about to hold herself back just to keep an old rival comfortable. If Ime made her laugh again or gave her something real in that moment, she wasn't going to apologize for it. In her mind, she was free, single, and living life on her terms. No guilt, no second guessing, no hesitation. People close to her said this was Taraji's "I'm doing me" era. Unfiltered, unapologetic, and fearless. After years of being polite, professional, and maybe even too nice, she was done walking on eggshells. She was moving how she wanted, when she wanted, and letting people talk if they needed to. But the internet? Oh, it erupted. Social media turned into a full-on battlefield. Half the crowd was calling Taraji out, saying she broke an unspoken girl code, while the other half said Nia needed to move forward and stop reliving the past. Comment sections were flooded, timelines were a mess, and everyone suddenly had insider info on what really happened. Fans were going frame by frame through red carpet clips, zooming in on Instagram captions, and trying to decode every emoji, every subtle post, every glance during interviews. It was like the entire world became private investigators overnight. Every new rumor only made things hotter. Screenshots of sources, shady memes, and fan-made timelines of events spread like wildfire. Some people were defending Nia, calling her the wounded queen who didn't deserve more pain, while others were praising Taraji for living her truth and refusing to let the past control her future. Everyone had a take, and nobody was holding back. The drama was everywhere, from YouTube commentaries to celebrity podcasts to Twitter threads that went viral within hours. And through all of it, one thing was crystal clear. Taraji and Nia's names have never been louder than they are right now. Their feud has evolved beyond just a Hollywood rumor. It's become a cultural conversation about loyalty, power, and who gets to control their own story. The tension's still sizzling, the fans are still debating, and every new whisper just adds more fuel to the fire. Whether you're Team Nia or Team Taraji, one thing's for sure, this saga isn't cooling off anytime soon. The heat's still rising, and the world's not ready to look away yet.